Good morning, Soul Family. I've got a lot to cover with you guys today. A lot of it is about dreams, and I'm not going to try and assume. I'm not going to assume anything. I'm not going to. I'm just going to give you them because they need to be said. And I'm going to tell you right now that things are really whipped up. And I always know that this is. I heard it in my dreams while I was sleeping. I thought it was raining because my wind chimes were going crazy, and I got out here and everything is whipped up. So energetically and emotionally, everything is whipped up right now. And there's people on the move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and definitely somebody's got bad blood. Song playing right now. So yeah, somebody that they used to care about, and it's not good. So I'm going to turn this down, and I'm literally going to just tell you. I'm going to go back into my dreams, and I'm just going to give you this because, and I had somebody this morning write to me about after listening to my reading, and they said to me, "Why is it that my premonitions come late? I wish that I could know. Why can't I be shown ahead of time so I can do something about it?" And I used to think that too. And then I realized we're not meant to do anything about it because I had a premonition about the earthquake in Napa Valley. I saw everything. I saw exactly where it was. I saw it, but it was like half an hour before it happened. There's nothing I could do. The point is, Spirit is just trying to show you that you are connecting and you are seeing accurately. You aren't necessarily meant to do anything about it. If you are meant to do something about it, then you do. I feel like I'm supposed to share this, so I'm going to share it. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to start with my first. First of all, I had a dream all night long, and it was these hick guys, and they were disgusting, and they were abusive to a girl. There was a group of them, and I feel like I'm her. Anyway, it was about to blow up, and I was about to do it. So this is me doing it, I guess. So then I heard lucidly. I was not asleep. The daughter was injured in a car accident a long time ago. Next one. I need to get some respect. Okay, so that's going to be clearly me. So then, here we go. This goes back quite a few years. There's several messages here. I saw a man driving drunk and a girl was hurt. It was an accident. Years ago, 4 years ago, I saw a man in a blue suit standing in the ocean, facing out to sea with an angry look on his face and his hands clenched at his sides. And I said, "Why are you standing this way? Won't the salt water ruin your suit?" He said, "The suit will dry." I asked again, "Why are you standing that way?" He said, "If I don't stand this way, I'll kill him." And I said, "Who? What did he do?" And he said, "A man hurt a girl and I wasn't able to stop him." Now we go to another scene where we're in a crowded market. This is years later, 2.5 years later. There was a little girl playing with a ball. Her ball went running into the street. She ran after it. I ran to stop her. I heard squealing on the brakes of the car. I heard a scream. I don't know if she was killed. Now remember, I am watching. I'm the watcher, right? I'm the owl. Remember when we did the reading and I said the whole time that we were there, the Soul Family meetup, the Great Horned Owl was watching? That's me. I am the Great Horned Owl. I'm able to see things. I've seen them in the future. So I am watching what's taking place in this family. So when I talk about me, I am the person that's there, but I am not me, actually. So then I think, now this is real. I think of my little sister. She was driving in a car. She was way too young to drive. She was driving her friend's truck. Her boyfriend was in another car, and they were driving back from the beach on a very twisty road. Someone said they were playing chicken. She overreacted, and her truck hit the soft shoulder, and she spun out and went down a cliff. Her boyfriend had a warrant out for his arrest, so he didn't want to call the police to help them. So he and his friends were trying to get to them themselves for a very long time. Finally, a passerby called the police. When the paramedics got there, the girl was sitting in the truck. This is my sister. She had a broken leg, and her femur was sticking out of her thigh. Her passenger had injuries and was knocked out. Now, he was just a friend. It was his truck that she was driving. The paramedics worked on the passenger for 45 minutes. The girl was swearing about her broken leg. She was saying she was going to have a scar on her leg. I guess they physically felt she wasn't as bad off because she was still talking and, having a temper tantrum about... My little sister had the most beautiful legs you've ever seen. She was beautiful. By the way, she was 16 and a half at the time. and she had run away from home. My parents had, my mother was abusive to her mentally, and she ran away and didn't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore, and my family was not talking to her. So we found out this all later. This was, you'll hear the story. It's pretty awful. So they're working on the guy. The paramedics go to work on her finally. She's saying, I'm going to have a huge scar on my leg, right? By the time the paramedics went to work on her and they pulled her out from behind the steering wheel, not realizing she had internal injuries. They were both life-flighted to the hospital. She died on the way to the hospital because the steering wheel had been holding in her vital organs in place. The whole time the paramedics were working on the other person, she'd been bleeding internally. And when they removed her from behind the steering wheel, everything that was being held in place dislodged. And she had, as I said, been bleeding this entire time. She died. That little girl was my sister. They could have saved her if they had paid attention to her, but they didn't pay attention to her. They were more concerned with the other person that had a head injury. Sorry. So, our life is a mirror, and it's cycles. There's cycles that would replay over and over in our lives until we understand the meanings. So there are literal and symbolic messages in the meanings to these messages that I got this morning. That's why the water is all whipped up like this. This is the past coming full circle. So there was a man moving forward in his vehicle in life, not paying attention to what he was doing, unaware of how he was moving through life and hurting people. When he realized what he had done, the tears were the salt water that was up to his waist. He was angry at himself that he had hurt someone and seemed unable to stop himself. Or that man knew someone who was doing that. You think of the whole time the help was working on the passenger who had the head injuries, not paying attention to the girl who was the one who was driving that relationship forward. By the time, now this is the man who's mad at himself for what he had done. The whole time the help is working on the passenger, so the help would be spirit, who has the head injuries, not paying attention, or maybe it's him, right? Him dealing with his friend. This person who has the head injuries, who's not thinking straight, who has been in the passenger side. He was not driving forward. He was how do I say this? Well, let's just move forward. They weren't paying attention to the girl who was driving that relationship forward. And by the time they finally decided to look over at the girl who had been very vocal about her injuries, but had not been paid attention to because they felt that this man's injuries were more important, she had been bleeding inside, slowly dying from her injuries. Then the other person that seemed to be the passenger along for the ride, playing chicken when the vehicle spun out of control, felt like he was drunk because he wasn't aware of how he was treating the girl in his life. Now remember, she wasn't with this guy. This guy was just a friend. Her boyfriend was in the other vehicle. This guy was going on along for a ride in this vehicle. So that other person that seemed to be the passenger along for the ride, playing chicken, when the vehicle spun out of control, he felt like he was drunk because he wasn't aware of how he was treating the girl in his life. And she was mortally wounded because of all the attention that was going to him, though she was crying out for help. Okay, I'm leaving it at that. You can figure it out yourself. 2 days ago, the vision was that I was shown was my ex-roommate. Now, I am not me, clearly. I'm shown as my ex-roommate who's driving someone else's car. That person was in a habit of driving carelessly, constantly crashing cars. I asked her, or him, why are you always crashing cars like this? Why can't you drive properly? And the person said, I don't know. And they spoke in some kind of a haze, like, they weren't able to control themselves. They didn't know why. Look at me clearing my throat. Somebody doesn't want me to say this. Tough shit. So the car that this one was driving, the ex-roommate, they weren't the owner of this car. I was responsible for that car. I wasn't intending on keeping that car. I had rented it. I was going to be bringing it back, but my ex-roommate took it and drove it and crashed it. I tried to act like I was concerned about my roommate, who seemed so out of it and not able to understand why they couldn't ever drive properly, and I asked if they were okay. Then I went to see if the car was damaged or if I could return it. It seemed my uncle was there with me, helping me. Okay, I was written to recently by a French girl. Before I got the reading of the message, I received a dream. And in the dream, there was a very wealthy man who had hired a prostitute. The one friend didn't want to be there. I don't want to. Why do you have to do this? That's what this person wanted. So he says, I don't want to be here. This is the one that's going to be in the other vehicle. He took that girl. The girl came to me in the dream and said That rich man raped me repeatedly, and nobody knew. My car was parked out front. Now, symbolically or literally, it can be either. Someone wasn't aware of what was going on. That girl was brutally raped, was maybe emotionally raped, and carelessly treated by the one. I also remember someone going in and writing down their name on the piece of paper. And it wasn't the person whose name they wrote down. It was their brother's name. I'll leave it at that. So, this could refer to a person, the car being a girl. The girl was going out with someone, the one person left, the other person took the car for a spin that didn't belong to them, didn't belong to me either, but they crashed the car and I was trying to clean up the mess. So that's what's going on. Somebody hurt somebody very, very badly. They rented her. Basically, she was a prostitute, or they treated someone like she was a prostitute, or they took somebody and now they had to pay for it. They don't seem to be aware or very concerned that they continually do this to people. I'm trying to clean up the mess. I am the person. Clearly, I'm not myself. I'm seeing this as another. That's why the girl had been hurt in an accident years ago and now deserves to get some respect. All right, now listen to the song that's playing. It's my favorite song right now. I'm going to have to talk over it so I don't get blocked. Justin Timberlake. Two guys talking. Okay? Sometimes the greatest way of saying something is to say nothing at all, is the name. These two guys are brothers. Brothers from a different mother, I just heard. Everyone knows all about my direction. And in my heart some way, I want to go there. Still, I don't go there. Everybody's saying, say something, say something, say something, say something, say something. Somebody's supposed to speak up. I don't want to get caught up in the rhythm of it. I don't want to get involved, just like the shooter in Florida. Those people didn't want to get involved. I can't help myself. No. Remember the accident person? I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I don't want to get caught up in the rhythm of it. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. Caught up in the rhythm of it. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't have. So this is somebody who he's caught up in this cycle and he can't seem to stop himself. Now the other guy, everyone knows all about my transgressions. Still into my heart somewhere, there's melody and harmony for you and me tonight. Okay? The one guy's fucking up. I hear them call my name. Everyone's saying, say something, say something, say something. So they know what happened. They weren't the one that hurt the person. And everyone's saying, speak up, speak up. But I don't want to get caught up in the rhythm of it. I don't want to get caught up in it. Just like those kids in Florida who didn't want to step up and say anything, even though they knew that guy was doing things that was going to hurt people. And who got hurt? 17 people got killed. This guy's saying, I can't help myself. I can't help myself. This drunk asshole who's going around doing the things that he does. I'm caught up in the rhythm of it. Caught up in the rhythm of it. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't have, says the other person. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't have. These two, friends, brothers, they both want the same thing. One keeps fucking up. The other one's trying to bail the other one out. Okay? Sometimes the greatest way of saying something is to say nothing at all. Now, if you ask, Justin Timberlake starts talking about this song and what it means. And there was a sexual situation that took place, and it was bad. But he was aware of it. And so who was he to speak up? Everyone wanted him to jump up and say, yeah, that guy was an asshole. But he was involved with that guy. He knew that guy. And so sometimes the greatest way of saying something is to say nothing at all. I'm going to leave it there. You figure it out. You know what you were supposed to do. Somebody was hurt really, really badly, and you could have done something about it. And that's why you're not saying anything, because how can I talk shit on this other person when I was there? I knew what this person was doing. I knew the way this person was behaving, and I didn't step up. And so I have this guilt that I'm carrying, but no. All right, I'm not gonna define it. I'm not gonna go even any further than that. I'll just let you guys do it. But I meant to share these, and I was already shown that I was about to blow something. Why? And I told you, these disgusting guys, these hit guys, they were disgusting. They were abusive to this girl, and they called her simple in the dream because she was innocent. She didn't get it. They were very abusive. They were her brothers, it felt like to me. So they were someone that she knew, someone that she cared about. Song right now, E.T. Last night somebody posted something, a friend of mine said something, and basically it said, you know, I'm not on Facebook every day, but my messenger light is on because I leave it on. Somebody said, why are you always on Facebook? And a friend of hers came back and said, yeah, but don't you answer immediately? What are you, an alien? And this song is E.T. And it got my back up. And I don't care who the person was, and I don't care if it was a joke, and I don't care. I had just finished doing our reading, and I fight for the underdogs. And I said, you know what? Sometimes people answer immediately because they're polite, and they feel like they need to answer to someone. And that's a message to us all. We don't need to constantly be available. But sometimes we're doing that to be, not because we're pathetic, but because we're polite, and we're there for people who need us. And the person says, and I said, and an alien? Yes, she is alien. She's alien because she's polite. And I don't know what I said. I was so pissed off. Because I thought, you know what? You think you're being funny? You think this person is because the person said, I'm not that important. You know, I'm not that important. If you think I'm on here all the time, I'm not, because I don't really matter that much. I'm not that important. And I thought, bullshit. And I said, don't say that about yourself. You are important. And the people who don't think you are important don't matter at all. And so the person came back and said to me, oh, this person knows exactly where I'm coming from. They know where I'm coming from, and you're funny. Ha, ha, ha. And I said, I don't care if the person does know where you're coming from. Sometimes what we think is funny isn't. And sometimes what you say at somebody else's expense, they laugh at, but they aren't laughing inside. You're hurting them. And yes, she is an alien because she's from a different thought process where people matter and where people care. Song right now. Want to walk on your wavelength and be there when you vibrate. For you, I'll risk it all. You know who I'm talking to right now. We aren't like everyone else. And this person that was made fun of, this person put themselves out there, was available if anyone needed them. Not because they're waiting with bated breath because they got nothing better to do, but then they have a poor self-esteem, thinking, you know, nobody would really care because I don't matter. Yes, you do matter. Yes, you do matter. And you're an indigo child. And that's why you feel like an alien. And you are. You're foreign to this way, to rudeness. And the person writes back and says, wow, what are you going on about? And I just thought, you know what? Fuck off. Seriously? Fuck off. That's what my love says to you right now. You're not worth my breath. But I said to the person, I said what I said. I don't care who you are or what your intention was. What I needed to be said, what I needed to say needed to be said. Just like right now, it needed to be said, and I said it. Nobody should be feeling like they are not worth it or that they don't matter. And they don't have to explain to you why they answer. I answer immediately as well, too. Because my phone notifies me. Not because I sit here on fucking Facebook 24/7. My phone notifies me. And I was taught to respond to people because I'm a caring person. And I'm there for you. Listen to the song. I'll be there for you. Superman ain't got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Do you understand that? You stupid asshole people who are making fun of others that are different than you, who are putting other people down, and you're laughing and you think they're a joke. You go through your life hurting people, and does it matter to you that other people's feelings are being hurt, that you're stomping on people, that you're trampling others? And I might be 5'2", and you may not give a shit what I say, but I'm gonna fucking speak. Because somebody needs to stand up for the underdog. You know, and the underdog isn't an underdog because they're not worth it and they don't matter. It's because they have not been shown how worthy they are. You watch me get fired up. You watch I saw this last night. This person that these idiots were abusing. And this person they were their family, they were their friends. Oh, and they tried to say, it's just my brothers. And I said, I don't give a shit who it is. And I stood up to this person. I know that this is speaking to many, many different people right now. And then, I'm going to let it go now because I'm all fired up. So what we're going to do is we're going to get my sage and we're going to clear my energy. Because I said what I needed to say. Everything I needed to say was said. So I'm going to now release that. And you know what's interesting? Whoever this idiot was says the word motherfucker. Because I don't say that word, and that word came up in my dreams. It came up yesterday. It came out of my mouth. I don't use that word. I'll call you a fucking asshole, but I don't use the word motherfucker. So whoever says that word, you know who this person is. This person is the asshole. They came down to play a really rotten role in this life. But you know what? We all get a chance to switch our game and say, hey, you know what? I think I don't want to play this role anymore. I think I don't want to be this person anymore. I think I'm going to start pulling my head out of my ass and recognizing that people have feelings. And it's not okay for me to go around and trample all over everybody and think only of myself and say, oh, I didn't know. I didn't realize. It's not funny. It isn't funny. You know, I think about my brother. My brother was always making me the butt of the jokes. Always. And I would laugh because he was funny. And my ex-husband was angry. He was in defense of me. And he said, I don't like that. And I said, what? And he goes, he's mean. And I said, he's funny. You're just being too sensitive. And he says, no, he's mean. And you are the butt of his jokes. And I thought, you know what? It took me years to realize that's the truth. And when somebody makes you the butt of the jokes, they don't like you. They are not your friend. They're generally jealous of you. Or they're very, very insecure themselves. So if this is you... Okay, clearly this is, they're not worrying about my energy, so I'm not speaking out of line because this won't even light. It won't even smoke. So everything that was said was meant to be said right now. All right. But let's switch it up and let's bring on something good, shall we? I have for some reason, gosh, man. Okay, so they're telling me the Crystal Oracle, even though I'm holding the Angel Tarot. So we'll go to the Crystal Oracle. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Song right now, baby, you got me like, oh, you love it when I fall apart. So you can lift me up and put me back together again. So you can hold me against the wall. This is somebody who gets off on the abuse. I like being tortured this way. I don't. Correct for neutrality on all levels. It is wild out there, man. It is wild. I'm telling you, the outside, you can see how your inside is affected by the weather outside. You can tell. When you feel like there's the chaotic things going on in your life, look at the weather outside. You'll see it. Things are not calm right now. Things are whipped up. There's the winds of change happening big time. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Random assuming, what do you think? Assuming is not good. It's not good. It's not good. So that's why I said I didn't want to try and tell you what was going on. I was just going to give you the information. But I did tell you about the situation last night. And it goes along with what I watched in my dreams. So, correct for neutrality on all levels. Crowsite. Crowsite. This is a really, really cool looking crystal. Isn't that neat looking? Isn't that amazing that something like that grows underneath the earth? Like that, like those little spikes. To me, it looks like it's like coral. It's like earth coral, right? The color of your sacral chakra, sexual energy, and creativity. Look at me, color of carnelian. Interesting. So what Crowsite is telling you is that because of this creative color coming from the ground, which is, see the earth here, the ground, this is bursting forward. Let's look at it this way, right? There's a creative phase coming forward in your life, just right around the corner. Possibilities that are going to surface. Look at them. There's tons of them, right? It's going to stimulate your passion because look at the colors of passion being ignited. Look at my colors. Carnelian is important for us today. Your sexual energy is clearly on the rise. No pun intended. Seriously, because the sacral chakra is the seat of your sexual energy. Sexual energy is the greatest motivating force in this universe. Use your creative sexual energy in a positive way. This will draw people, new circumstances into your life that is going to be very stimulating and exciting for you. I mean, think about this in the sexual term. Look at that. Everything's risen up, right? It's all, woo, it's hot and it's spiky. It's spicy, it's prickly, it's like, woo, right? Wonderful changes in store. But you're also warned to be cautious because look, you could get impaled on that, couldn't you? Appearances can be deceiving, right? Things can look different than they actually are. Sometimes things look prickly and they're not prickly. Sometimes there are some things that you can look at, like a flower that looks like it's all spiky and it's got like needles on it. You go to touch it and it's really soft. Or there's a prickly surface on the outside and a very soft on the inside, like a prickly pear. Prickles on the outside that are dangerous and they hurt you, but inside there's flesh that you can actually eat. So look for the beauty inside and the truth before you allow yourself to be swept off your feet by something that may appear beautiful and is actually deadly. Song right now, tell me if you love me or not. Okay, that's the first message. That's a bitchin' crystal. I'm so bummed that I didn't get to go to the Tucson Gem Show. I've always wanted to go to one of the big gem shows. You know, my twin goes. My friend Patrick just went. God. My girlfriend went to the one in Quartzsite, but I think the one in Tucson would be the one to see. Correct neutrality. To see these giant crystals. Oh. And be in the energy. I mean, there's a lot of people there too, but you know, crystals are emanating energy. People keep sending me the same video about the place in Australia where you can go inside this crystal cave that's just insane. Amethyst. This girl was wearing amethyst yesterday. I was talking about it with you guys. Interesting. That was the one color crystal that I didn't talk about in the reading. Amethyst it helps you with calming your sleep. It helps you with your dream time. Amethyst is a protection stone. I keep my twin in an amethyst cave when I sleep at night. So amethyst, look at the dark inside that little cave and then the light on the outside. So you've got the dark and the light, right? In the picture of this amethyst. So you're being encouraged to embrace your darkness, your dark side, and take an inventory. Okay, so I'm looking at my dark. I posted something. I think I did it this morning. I've got to go to my page. I posted so much this morning. I work under my blanket for it for hours before I get up. Hold on, where is it? There's so many things that came to me in oh my gosh, my memory feed was crazy. Things that came. Priorities. I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. Hold on, see if I can grab this. Okay, this is me. I was talking about my Mama Sherry sent me my Doc Martens. So
Martens from
just listen.
Bay, Wisconsin, along with a couple of postcards. I'm in love with this Sturgeon Bay, and this is Potawatomi Park over here that I used to ride my bike across the bridge. It's so incredibly, I bet it's just beautiful right now. I wonder if they have snow on the ground still. And here we have a polar bear. I guess that's my totem for today. So people, polar bear is the totem for our weekly reading today. Snuggled up in the snow, hibernating. I'm looking at my boots, and I'm thinking, you know, they're pretty beat up. Scratches, paint splattered on them. But I like them. They're super cool. They were given to me by somebody I love, my Mama Sherry, and they remind me of me. You know, they're sturdy, they're strong, they're classic, they got style, and even though they've got some wear and tear on them, I freaking love them. They're useful, and they take me where I need to go. I love them. Thanks for bringing them back.
Okay, so what I was saying was, these are my trusty Doc Martens. You know, I left them there when I left Sturgeon Bay. And my best friend sent them to me along with those postcards. And so if you look at the Doc Martens, they were my Mama Sherry's at one time, which made them even more special. And they're scuffed. They've got paint splattered on them, but they're classic. They're sturdy. They've got lots of wear in them. The treads, like the bottom, is like brand new. Even though they're a little banged up, they're dependable. They take me to places I need to like to go. Hiking, mountains, climbing rocks, trees, out on my canoe. I wore these a few weeks ago when I was up in the mountains, and they grab the rocks like you wouldn't believe. These are awesome to hike in. I like wearing dressy things with super casual things. So I would put these Doc Martens with a real frilly gypsy summer dress. These boots are literally me. They are physically, symbolically, and spiritually me. Eclectic, unique, eccentric, original, artistic, active. I could go on and on. Right? Now, I'll show you what I took when I took these boots away. This is what the amethyst is talking about. I wonder if I can show you. I took these. So this is the memory feed that pops up, right? Give me a sec while I scroll. There they are. This is what I did to these. I got these silver glitzy shoestrings, and then I got lacy ones. These are too hard to handle. But this is what I do. I polish them. They're still scuffed up, and they still have paint on them. But I put really shiny, lacy silver laces in them, and I wear them with a dressy outfit, and they're super cute. Now, so this is what Amethyst is telling you to do. They want you to take a list of what you consider your negative qualities and see what the positive qualities are in those. Scratched, busted up a little bit, not brand new, old style, classic, think about them. Whatever it is, see how the negative in what you're seeing has also been positive. Like for me, I've got a temper, right? You heard me. But I can stand up for people and I can defend people, and I love hard. I love hard, right? So I'm determined. You could say that she doesn't stop. She doesn't stop. No, I don't. I give up. I don't let go of who I love or what I love, and I'm determined to go where I need to get, right? Think about all of the things. You talk too much. You talk too fast. I have to talk fast in my work. People pay by the second while they're talking to me. And so when I am able to speak quickly and my words come out quickly and eloquently and fluently, they get a lot of bang for their buck, right? So be yourself. Everything about you serves a purpose. Don't deny parts of who you are because other people have told you there's something wrong with you, or you're alien, or you're this or you're that. Fuck the haters. Seriously. There's nothing about you that needs to be fixed. You just simply need to love and embrace who you are. So right now, this is a time of change. This is a time of huge change, profound change. And it's going to have a lasting impact on your life for some time, and for the ones around you as well. Not everyone, but for some people. Song right now, perfect. Right? That's exactly right. When I found a girl who's, this person thinks she's perfect for him because she is perfect for him. She's not perfect. Nobody's perfect physically, emotionally, spiritually. None of us are perfect. If we were, we would be back in spirit. But we are perfect for the situation that we find ourselves going to. We're perfect for that job. We're perfect for this. I am perfect for this job. I'm perfect for this job, right? I wasn't perfect to be working in a barbershop underneath somebody else and having to play by their rules and not talk about my spiritual life. I wasn't perfect for that job. I had to leave that job. It didn't work for me. But I'm perfect for this job. I work for myself. I can say what I want. These are my readings. When Spirit tells me to speak something, I speak it. And it just goes out. And who needs to hear it, Spirit will guide to, and they will hear it. I am perfect for this job. Right? And you're perfect for whatever situation is. Well, this card went flying out. Rhodochrosite. So we're going to take it. Rhodochrosite, I'll show you the real rhodochrosite. There's different ways of rhodochrosite appearing. Hold on. I have some here in my, where's my rhodochrosite? See? Here's rhodochrosite. And I will show you on my, I also have it in my, where is it? I think I might have put it together in, where is it? I don't know where it's at. I think I might have made a crystal cluster, but here, it's rhodochrosite right here. See that right there? Here, I'll get it clear. That's rhodochrosite right there. So it can look different. It can look pale. It can have a darker color. This is also rhodochrosite. Okay? Rhodochrosite is one of the soulmate love stones. So you're looking at the lighter version here in this one. So in a soulmate pendant or a cluster for working with love or working with your just love. It's love. So it's talking about relationships, clearly, because it's a love stone. And it's talking about how we learn a lot about ourselves through our relationships with other people. And when we if we were to look down, as Spirit looks down upon us, at one another, we would realize that the people that we draw into our lives, or that we run across, they have a reflection of some aspect within ourselves. And that is, so now see, when that person attacked that sweet girl online last night, and to me, and she didn't think she was being attacked, right? Or she didn't think she was attacking. She thought she was being funny. That took me back to a place of myself, right? And it's funny because I didn't recognize that I was being treated with disrespect either. I didn't realize that. My brother used to do that. I didn't think that I was being treated with disrespect. That person was just being funny. But they were being insensitive, and they were being rude, and they were making fun at my expense. So that was something that I watched last night. That was a reflection, and it made me angry because now I know my own self-worth. I know what respect is. You don't make fun of another person like that. You don't make someone else the butt of your jokes. It isn't funny. I watched my twin's brother say disrespectful things about him in my dreams. And I don't know if it was a natural brother or because I'm not assuming, but I watched it. He said words about my twin that were disrespectful. And I got to tell you, in my dream, I told him where to go and how to fucking get there. Don't you speak about him that way. Just like I said about the person last night. Are you alien? Yes, alien to rudeness. That's what I said to that person. She's alien to rudeness. Doesn't understand that you're treating her like shit. But I do. So there was a reflection. I learned that. I watched that. And I stood up for it. So with rhodochrosite, we meet people we like. We meet people we don't like. You know, we look at people and we see traits that we think are positive traits. And we like that about them. And then we see things that we don't like. And we don't like that about them. We see some things are good. And we see some things that are negative. But we don't see those same traits in ourselves. So when I watched that in last night take place, that cautions me. Don't make jokes. Maybe you're thinking you're being funny. It's not funny. You know, my twin said something to me one time. He said something that hurt my feelings, and I told him it hurt my feelings. I gotta tell you guys something. Please don't judge him. His words were, I was kidding. That was funny. Don't be such an asshole. And I was like, what? What? And I said, I'm sorry. I'm not used to people speaking to me like that. The men in my life don't speak to me like that. I don't think that, who. And then he said immediately, I'm sorry. But see, he was used to being spoken to that way. He was used to that kind of a conversation taking place. And I said, I don't know who you're used to talking to. Some hooker, but you're not used to that. You don't talk to me like that. And now I might have come across like I was a prickly pear, right? And I was prickly on the outside, but I was very tender inside. That hurt my feelings. And I watched the same thing happen to him. Somebody has spoken to him that way, and that's why he spoke to me that way. So we have to be careful. We pay attention, and we see it when it happens outside of ourselves, but we don't see it when we do it, right? So we're learning this way. We all have those traits within ourselves, and otherwise we wouldn't be able to see them in someone else. They wouldn't push a button, or, they wouldn't stand out. The good ones and the bad ones. So you're being urged to look at the things that you don't like in others, and instead of avoiding them or judging them as bad, rotten people, look at what inside of you is needing to be examined. What is that reflecting? Are you supposed to recognize that's a wounded part of myself that needs healing? I need to stand up for myself. I need to, remove myself from that kind of energy, from being around people who speak like that, who think that's funny. That's not the kind of person I want to be. And I didn't mean to be that way, but that's how I've always been spoken. Just like me, I thought it was funny. I've done that myself. My ex-husband, Ken, very, very sensitive guy, super sensitive guy. And I hurt his feelings. I didn't mean to hurt his feelings. I was tough. I was rough around the edges. I needed my edges knocked off. I didn't know that I hurt his feelings. And I felt really bad. I felt he was just super sensitive. Well, you know what? It's kind of like my, when I was married in that abusive relationship for 10 years, I had no family around. I couldn't tell anyone what was going on. My family was in a different country. And finally, I went to the father of the person who was doing this to me. I was so scared to tell him what was happening. And you know what his response was? Well, don't make him mad. And I was like, what? It was like expected. Don't make him mad. If you don't make him mad, he won't hit you. It's like, wow, gotta be kidding me. And so finally, when that person was dealt with, they were speaking, the brothers in the congregation spoke to him, and they said, if you do this one more time, You're going to be excommunicated from the congregation. And he says, well, she bruises like a peach. And they said, well, if she bruises like a peach, then you treat her like a peach. Remember I said peaches came up recently? Think about that. If somebody is a super sensitive, then you better be more careful with them. This is what we need to learn, how to be more compassionate of one another. It'll help us realize that the judgments that we make about others are judgments that we're making about ourselves. I see that in myself. I saw that. I recognize that. I have to be careful. Just because maybe I've got a thicker skin doesn't mean somebody else does. Some people are very, very sensitive. We have to walk a fine line. This is about, a mixture of positive and negative, about broadening our understanding and our perspective and seeing more of who we are and who we want to be and who we don't want to be around. Right? One more and then we're out. Correct for neutrality on all levels. And listen, I'm telling you, I love my landlord. He's awesome. He's a super great guy, but he swears like a trucker all day long. And listen to my mouth. I never used to say these words. I really didn't. I don't have a problem so much, except for I feel like, it's not very ladylike. I mean, I definitely can be a lady. But I gotta tell you, when the words come out, sometimes they just come out. So it does speak about I remember scripture in the Bible, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Or bad association spoils useful habits. You can have, a different way of being, and whoever you're around, you start picking up their traits. So hopefully I'll, when I get in a different atmosphere, whoa, here we go. Jasper Red. Jasper. Oh, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing, but I gotta tell you, my dog, right there, my beautiful golden retriever, this is Jasper Red. I always thought it was rose quartz. Here it is. So Jasper Red, I know this message, especially since it was drawing attention to the dog. Dog represents love, unconditional love, loyalty, and friendship. So what Spirit is telling us with this message, this is about protection. That we're soon going to be drawn into a situation where we feel the need to protect someone who's in need of help, like I did last night. You're going to feel like you want to jump in. This person, it could be a person, it could be a pet. This is a premonition. This is coming. I mean, this is a prophecy. This is coming up, all right? This is someone who has suffered trauma, some kind of a trauma. They've got anxiety, they've got depression that they're dealing with. I deal with this all day long. People come to me all day long. And it's our love and our compassion that is going to help heal them. But as I said, when I did that last night, coming to her defense, I also healed an aspect of myself. So the healing that you give to this other one, this nurturing, loving energy that you give to this other, this is an emotional trauma that you've experienced possibly in your childhood, like I did, right? You don't have to figure it out. It could be a past life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, we're mirroring one another. And there's a self-healing that occurs when we care for another. So this is about trusting in the healing power of love. And I can't help but think of the last card we got yesterday, Carry Me Home. When the girl and the guy, she was leaning on him. Well, it could have been him leaning on her, right? Somebody who's suffering. They've been through something awful. They're dealing with anxiety and depression. Does that make them weak? No. Does it make them pathetic? No. It makes them in need of love and healing. And what we must understand, and when you're afraid to come forward because you don't want anyone to know that you're in that place, understand that when somebody loves you and when somebody gives to you, they're healing an aspect of themselves. Just like I did when I came to her defense last night. She wrote me and she said, thank you for being there for me. Thank you for standing up for me. I know where she was coming from, but I'm going through a lot in my life. And I said, I don't care who she is. And I don't care if she was being funny or not. I don't like it. And I said it needed to be said. And I don't choose to be her friend. Somebody comes from a place of you. She says, well, she was just trying to lighten up the situation. Well, I'm sorry. That's not the way to lighten up a situation when someone's suffering. Not in my books. So, but she felt loved by me, right? She felt protected by me. I blocked the person. I don't even want to deal with that person. That person's energy was off my page, like instantly. But the point is, right now, this is about nurturing and caring. It's about protection. It's about a positive energetic flow. About sharing our life force in a positive way. So you may be brought into a situation such as this. As I said, I'm brought into this every single day of my life because of my work. So now do remember, we need to protect our energy, right? We don't want to leave ourselves in an environment that is abusive, and we need to get out of that. As I said, bad association, you pick up bad habits, right? Good association, you pick up good habits. I would prefer to drop the language out of my life, and I think that once I get away from this language, it'll fall away again because it's not something that I have practiced. So I think I'll leave it at that. And I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and you're going to allow these winds of change to blow away all the shit in your life. That's what I do. I take a look and I think, yeah, take it away. Take away any of the negative feelings, energy, effects. Blow it all away, because I want the new. I want the new stuff to come in. And babe, if you need me, you come to me, and don't you dare feel like you are being weak to ask for my help. And you know what? If it's me that needs the love and I don't even realize it, I won't be weak when I lean on you. Because that's what love's all about, leaning on each other. That's why we're here for each other. That's why Soul Family is here for each other. When I'm feeling down, or I'm feeling sad, or when my friends are feeling sad and they talk to me, I'll say, you know what? Let's go do a Soul Family meetup. Because we give each other a shot in the arm. It lifts all of our energy when we help one another. One's feeling down, you give. You don't just give to yourself. You give, to them, you give to yourself. I always say, that's the one thing about Doreen Virtue's little quotes that I do like, and I will always say, if you're nervous, focus on service. If you're feeling down, help somebody else. It will help them, and it will lift you. I love you guys.